Hi class. Today I'm going to show you how to go on to our public library's website and look up some materials and be able to know if those materials are appropriate for you or if you should be looking for something different. Remember, we are going to be doing a little research project in groups, and this is the very first step to that research project because you need to know how to find your information. The very first thing I want you to do, take a minute, go get your Chromebooks, and when you get seated, I'll help you walk through this. All right, now that you have your Chromebook, I want you to open up the Google browser, which is right there. You all have used Google plenty of times before, but you're going to have a new tab. I know many of you have your Google Classroom and all of that already up. Please have a blank tab where you're here at the Google search. Up in your Google search bar, up here at the very top, I want you to type in Fenimore Public Library. All right, and hit enter. You should see this screen. Everybody see this screen? Please show me, thumbs up. Perfect. I want you to come over here and click on this link right here. It says Fenimore Public Library, Dwight Parker Library. That's the name of the public library. You should come up to Fenimore's website, Fenimore City's website. Again, thumbs up. Do we have this? Perfect. If you get lost, please raise your hand because that way we can help you get right on track with everybody else. You're going to go right here to this. It says search the card catalog online. I want you to click on that, please. And it's going to bring you right here. See, the program that the library uses is called Follett Destiny. It says welcome to Dwight T. Parker Public Library. You're going to come over here because it says click here to access the card catalog. I'm going to highlight this. This right here, students, is where you should be clicking. Click on Dwight T. Parker Public Library. It will take you to a search bar. This is where we go to search for things in the library. Today, we are going to do one general search together, and then I'm going to give you some other stuff to work on. But for right now, for our general search, we are just going to search for cars. So you're going to click in that find box, and you're going to type in cars. And then I want you just to not do anything else. So C-A-R-S, cars. And all right, now to search for cars, we can hit enter. We can either come over here and click on keyword or subject. If you are looking for a book and you know the title, you can click on title. Or if you know the author, you can click on author. If you don't know any of that stuff and you just want to type in cars because that's what we're looking for, you type in cars and then you hit enter. See, it brings us to this screen. This screen here shows us what is available in this library that is about cars. We can have, this is going to show us everything. It's going to show us fiction books, nonfiction books, children's books, adult books, DVDs, CDs. This shows us everything. So we have to do a little bit of research even in the library's website card catalog. You're not going to be able to just pull it up and it's not going to tell you exactly what you need. You have to know how to read this page. That's what I want to show you today. So I'm going to show you just a couple of little differences here. If you are looking for a book that is in grades 3rd grade on down, you want to look for a book whose call number, and remember, we've learned the call number before. That is the number that's on the spine label that we see on the shelves. So you want the call number to have a plus sign. Or, so we're actually doing 3rd grade and below, so you want 2 plus signs. I will highlight one right here. I found a book, Disney Pixar Cars. It has 2 plus signs. Remember, this is for grades 3rd grade and down. See, interest level K through 3. That is, that's just how our book is labeled. If you're above third grade and you really want to read this book, you certainly can. It may be a little easier than what you should be reading. Remember, we have to have our good fit reading level. And so this book here, because it has a double plus, we know maybe is a good fit for our grade 3 and below. But we are in 5th grade, about to be middle schoolers in 6th grade. We want a little harder book. We want to look for the call number that has a single plus sign. I did see a couple up here. Let's go here. So you can see right here, this DVD, Cars 3, has a single plus sign. Now that doesn't mean that our friends and students in grades 3 and below can't watch this movie. It just means that this movie was made with the general audience of the older students in mind. So that single plus is more of our middle-aged books. So you as 5th graders should be, and you're almost 6th graders, you really should be reading these single plus, and you should be reading them. You were allowed to kind of start doing single plus last year. So you're familiar with this. But this is a different library, so I really wanted to show you that because all call numbers are different and it's important to know what your library system uses. And let's see here. So if you are a little bit older level reading and you want a little harder material, you can see here. This is actually a game, and I know it because it's got a little disc here. So that means it's a Wii game, and it says Wii here in the call number. And that says YA. Does anybody know what they think YA stands for? It's a little difficult. That stands for young adult. So that could be any of our students who are kind of in that in-between age between the adult level and the middle age level, where the middle school stuff still is easy to read, but the adult stuff, you're just not quite there yet. We have a young adult level. Today, we're going to focus on that middle-aged level of reading. I want you to find a nonfiction book that's for a middle grade level reader. How do you know it's a nonfiction book? Yes, I'm so happy to hear that you remember that. We learned this previously a few years ago because we wanted to know if it's nonfiction, that means it's real life. How do you know that when it's on the shelf? You just told me. If it has numbers on the call number, remember if that sticker on the spine label of the book has numbers, it's a nonfiction book. If we come down here to this book here, Cars, Trucks, and Things That Go, we don't see any numbers in the call number. That call number is plus plus, so our 3rd grade and below, and then it just says SCA. So it does not have numbers. This is a fiction book. It is based on fictional characters, so not real. Today, we're looking for a nonfiction middle-aged book, middle-aged reader book here. So we've already found one, didn't we? This very first book, Cars, Trains, Ships, and Planes, has a single plus, so we know it's for our middle grade level readers. It has the numbers 629, so we know it's nonfiction. Now, isn't it on our shelves? Can we tell that before we get up from the computer to go look? You sure can. You just go right over here. So we're in this same line. We're going to go right over all the way to the edge, and we see that there is one of one available. So today, right now, on our shelves, we own one of these books in the library, and one of them is available. So it is checked out, or it is not checked out. But down here, you can see just an example, the movie Cars, which is a plus plus. So for our younger readers, there's actually 2 available in our library, but there's only 1 on the shelf. See, 1 of 2 available. So we're going to go back up here, and while you're searching, if you're like, I don't know if this is good for me or not, how do I know if this is the book I want? You can go to details, It says right here that it's got over 1,000 vehicles and easy to follow graphics describing key features of each main type of transportation. If that's what you're looking for, this is the book you want. If it's not, you hit your back button. Remember, your back button is up here. And you saw I had to hit OK because it asked me if I really wanted to go back, and then brought me back to this exact page. If that's not what you wanted, you can go ahead and pick something different. You don't have to go into the details. You can go ahead and write down your call number, go to the shelf and find it. You know that your book, you can glance through the book and see if it's reader appropriate. You can see if it's what you're looking for. Today, how I'm going to know that you can do this. You're going to get a sheet. It's going to have a topic. It's not going to have a title. It's going to have a topic. I want you to find me 2 middle grade leveled readers for each of those topics. 1 nonfiction, 1 fiction. If you struggle, you can use a friend, ask a buddy for help. If you don't think that there is one for each, you can leave it blank. You can raise your hand and I could come around and help you. And I just want you to make sure that it has a plus sign and it has numbers in there for nonfiction, just letters for fiction. This is how we're going to know that you can use the online card catalog to search and then actually take that information and find it in the library. When you are all completed, I want you to please sit down, raise your hand, and I'm going to come to you and check and see. If you are struggling with this while you're doing it, please raise your hand. And we have our assistant here in the library as well that will help. And we are going to come to you and we're going to walk you through this because it's very important that you know how to be able to find your materials. Because as a teacher, I'm going to ask you to go look for some things. Those librarians are not always going to be able to help you. It's important that you know how to find your own information. I want everybody to get out their pencils. I'm going to give you your piece of paper. You have the rest of class period to do this. I will be periodically checking in to just see how you're doing. And your completed sheet is how I'm going to know that you know how to do this. Remember, any questions, please ask. All right.